Aaliyah as the helper. So the most important, she's also on PHP, but the H is the capital letter in both of those. She is a helper, and it has been my privilege to get to know her better, and I am so excited. This is the first time that I think she has been on stage, certainly in front of Pawn Shop. So with no further ado, I will introduce you to Aaliyah with one housekeeping note. After this, there's another section right just following this. And don't forget the sign-in sheets, and dinner is at 7 downstairs. And I give you Aaliyah.
Yay. All right. I know it looks like I'm going to do a dance. I'm not. But, okay, we'll see if it happens. If you can be talking about the most interesting thing in the world, but if it's too long, everyone gets bored. So if you have questions, you can interrupt, or, if it gets alternate speeches, don't worry, I'll cut you off. Also, I have to remember to slow down, so you can tell me that too. Okay, so I am very excited because I have not spoke before in front of people, but I love giving tips. I read an email newsletter, and I want this to be practical. Like, if it's not, you're not taking away something that can actually make you money, then I didn't do my job. So I'm going to do magic words. Also, this is my credit card. It comes out of a 3D printer, which is super awesome. And it's, yeah, I know. Like, my kids, so you can magically pay for stuff. But I also really had it, so I can show you magic words. Okay. The pet rock sold $9 million, and it's a rock. And it's not because it was valuable, obviously it's not, but because it was sold right. And I want to tell you how, if you sell something right, using the right words can make you money. If you sound better, then you can sell better. And how I got really interested in this is the origin speech of this talk. So I'm sitting in JCK in Vegas, and Martin Rappaport is talking about ethical diamonds and green and traceability. And I turn to the guy next to me. His name is Martine DeWitt. He was a teacher on Hearts on Fire University. I'm not sure if any of you guys are diamond people, but those fuckers can sell, okay? They are like, yes, it is the world's most perfectly cut diamond. So they're fantastic salespeople. So anyway, I'm talking about how I don't think anybody wants ethical diamonds or green diamonds because I, Aaliyah Arndale, sold Canadian diamonds on the road for 5 years and nobody wanted them. And Martin goes, well, you did it wrong. And I'm like, well, what do you mean I did it wrong? He's like, you shouldn't have sold Canadian diamonds. You should have sold North American diamonds. Think about it. A couple in Iowa getting engaged, they don't care about Canada. They don't care about maple syrup and hockey, but they care about America. That's part of their story. What if you were saying, oh, you're looking for a diamond? Did you know the most beautiful diamonds are found here in North America? Are you interested in an American diamond? Well, then they'd be interested. And I'm like, that's really smart. But nobody wanted them because they were more expensive. And he goes, shh. They weren't more expensive. They were priced the way they should be if everything's done correctly. He's right. I mean, think about that. Think about a strawberry that's $7 at a farmer's market, and you're like, that's more expensive, or too expensive. And he's like, no, it's priced the way it should be if everything's done correctly. And you can use that in your stores. I mean, let's say someone says, oh, I saw a ring cheaper down the road. You can say, well, this one's priced the way it should be if everything's done correctly, if the gold weight is there, if the craftsmanship is there. So the words you use really make a difference. And there's so many examples out there in the world. A doctor told the patients, there's a 10% chance that if we do this surgery, things aren't going to go well. Nobody does the surgery. There's a 90% chance that if we do the surgery, everything's going to be fine. Everybody does the surgery. I mean, it's the same math, but it's just how you phrase it. There was a company, and they did a mailer, and it said, we fix roofs. Okay? And then they did another mailer and it said, we repair roofs. 20% increase in sales. And to me, they sound almost the same, but I guess fix seems like a big problem, repair seems like a small problem. Whatever it is, I'm here to teach you some extra words that'll make all the difference. I just heard this one last week and I absolutely love it. There was a college and they did a sociology type study. Anyway, in the cafeteria, they had brownies and chocolate brownies. Anyway, they added the word satin. They were like satin chocolate brownies. Not only did sales go up, they did surveys. People thought it tasted better. 14% of people said it tasted better. I mean, how powerful are words? I mean, one word and people changes their taste buds. I mean, I think, to me, that's absolutely fascinating. So one or two more examples, and then I will get into my magic words. At grocery stores, they would say 25% fat versus 75% lean. Nobody bought the 25% fat. Everybody wanted 70% lean. And one that I think is very powerful is, they were calling burn victims, but you're a victim, and victims it's so debilitating, so they actually changed it to burn survivors, and it changed these people's lives because they thought, it gave them so much more hope. So just little words, again, can change. So the first magic word I want to tell you about is actually something not to say. So you never should say, this ring cost $4,000, okay? You can say, you could acquire this ring for $4,000, or the value of this ring is $4,000. Sorry. Because everybody likes value and cost. I mean, we think about it, so much of words is feeling, like we sell emotion, right? When you tell something cost, oh, ouch, that hurts. That's like you're taking something away. But if you can gain this for $4,000, you can acquire this. So if you can be more positive, again, little words, and you don't think it makes a difference, it makes a big difference. And along the lines of this, I thought of this idea. Nobody's done it. I still like it, and I'm still going to tell you about it because maybe someone will do it one time. But I think it'd be cool to quote someone a price range. Oh, well, that's a beautiful ring. How much is that? Well, that's $2,000 to $4,000. What do you mean it's $2,000 to $4,000? Well, think about it. I mean, anything could be remade in 10K, or you could put in a smaller stone, or maybe you could replace it with a sapphire. And what I like about that is, number one, you're impossible to be shopped. They can't be like, well, I saw it cheaper down the street. And they're like, no, you didn't. I just gave you a range. Also, it leads to personalization. I think a lot of people don't realize how personalized it can be. So I think it'll opens the door to being like, oh, we can make it a little bit, like let's say they only had 2,000 and you say that it's 4, they just leave. But now you have the possibility of still selling it, but just maybe switching something out, and everyone loves personalization. I also think you might have the possibility of upsell. If you say this ring's $2,000 to $4,000 and they have 4 to spend, and this was only 2, now you can, more likely to get an upgrade. So anyway, not really magic word, but I think it's something interesting that somebody maybe tries sometime. All right, my next trick is using your butt. This is, everyone's gonna use their butt. All right, sorry, am I supposed to speak slow? This is fine, no one cares. All right, I'm still going back to that. Okay, the butt trick. Yes, but. Okay, if anyone's writing it down, yes, but. Let's say I go into a store and I say, can I have a lab-grown diamond? And you say, oh, we don't sell those. We only sell natural diamonds. Well, then it sounds like I'm ordering a steak and you're trying to give me sushi, okay? You're not listening to me, you're not on my team. So how you get around this is great. You just say, yes, but. Oh, you want a lab-grown diamond? Well, sure, I can get a factory-made diamond. I can get you the best microwave diamonds in the whole world. I've connections with suppliers. I'll get you that. But did you know we carry a lot of second-hand diamonds? They're very ethical and they're wonderful price. Now, if I had first just tried to sell my thing, they wouldn't have listened. And this works with anything. Oh, I want a 1-carat GVVS1. Oh, I would love to get you a 1-carat GVVS1. I have connections. I can get overnight, the best, the most gorgeous one. But, I have a DSI2 in stock. Have you ever seen a D? I mean, I have to look at a D color every day to remind myself why I'm even in this business. Why don't you take a look? Again, if I had just tried to sell them my D colored, they wouldn't have listened. I had to first show that I was on their side. So I think that's a great word trick, magic word trick. Here's my one, is the yes, but. A very similar trick. Do you consider yourself open-minded? Does everyone consider themselves open-minded? Great. I need help moving next week. Who wants to come help? No, I'm just kidding. But this is a great trick. So I actually learned this. I'm downtown in Chicago, and there's all these guys with clipboards, okay? And this guy comes up to me, he's like, do you like cats and dogs? I'm like, oh, yes, and he's like, okay, would you mind giving money to the Humane Society? If he had just come up to me and said, would you give money to the Humane Society? You're not doing it. But people want to affirm what they say is true. They've done this with surveys. If they say to someone, do you consider yourself a helpful person? 29% of the people, if they first said, will you do a survey? You get those texts at the end of everything now where it says, please rate your service, whatever. So anyway, they had 29% success rate on people doing the survey. And then they asked people, do you consider yourself helpful? And then people would say yes. And after that, they had a 77% success rate on people during the survey. So people want to affirm what they say is true. Now, how do you use this in jewelry? So if you can say, do you consider yourself open-minded? They go, sure. Okay, well then I know you came in for this Rolex, but I really, really like Omega. Would you take a look at it? And so again, it's kind of like the yes, but your first, if you had said, come look at this thing, they might not have. But if you first say, are you open-minded? And they say, yes, I'm open-minded, they are much more likely to whatever you want to tell them or say, because they've already said that, hey, they're open-minded. So I like that one. You know, do you care about ethical diamonds? And they'll be like, yes, of course. Oh, well, I've got these beautiful Canadian diamonds. So again, if I just tried to show them the Canadian diamonds, might not have been into it, but if you first say, I mean, anything you're trying to sell, if you first ask a follow-up question, are you open, like whatever the benefit is, like let's say, do you want to see the best, do you want to see the best power tools? And they say, are you interested in only the best? And they say yes, you're more likely to make the sale of that item. All right, sorry. The next word trick is this jewelry is reserved for you. So I love the word reserved. I mean, talk about, you know, putting out the red carpet without actually putting out a red carpet, which I do recommend. Actually, I think putting out a red carpet in front of your store is really smart and really cheap. It makes people feel like for $100 you can get those velvet ropes and people feel VIP. I mean, I even recommended people like buy $3 tiaras on Temu and hand it to everyone. They could be a princess. I mean, if you make your customers feel important and feel VIP, I mean, that's everything. That's why people buy jewelry, to feel, you know, sexy and important and like they made it. So anything you can do to make them feel important, and you're more likely to make the sale. And oh, I'm just back from the biggest jewelry show in the nation. Would you like me to, I've reserved the best pieces. Would you like to come see it? Isn't that way better than like, come see some pieces I have. I reserved this for you. And I actually stole this from, this was when they were giving COVID shots, when whatever your view on those are, it doesn't matter. They were, trying to get people to get shots and people weren't. And then they would say, we've reserved your shot for you. And it was like 70% higher success rate, which I just think is fascinating. So this is a very powerful word that, you know, has many places you can add, and it makes people feel like they're, you know, my mom was right, I am important, you know, I'm VIP. So, you know, I've reserved some time to see you. All right. This next one is only. Much like reserved, the word only is very exclusive and VIP. And I got this one from a financial advisor. So I got an email and it said, are you interested in doubling your wealth management? I only deal with serious customers. Or, you know, then it was like, you know, hey, I'm looking forward to, you know, looking over your portfolio. I only deal with cool people. And I'm like, am I cool? Am I, you know, you start to, you know, it makes you feel very exclusive. And what I really like about this is a lot of times you'll, at least in the jewelry business, there's like tire kickers, and you're always like, oh, how do I tell if someone's serious, right? Like they'll be looking for an engagement ring, you'll get a whole bunch of diamonds and you show them and they're like, well, we're really looking for next year. And I feel like you can use the word only in this situation to be like, oh, I'd love to show you engagement rings. Come in, I'm gonna get engaged. By the way, I only deal with couples looking to get engaged in the next 2 months. You know, I think only is an amazing qualifier. You know, you can even just say, you know, are your prongs checked? I would like to make sure to check your prongs. I only tell this because I care about the longevity of your jewelry. The word only, I think I had another really good example. Oh, this one I really liked. I only sell fine jewelry. I only sell, you know, high quality tools. Doesn't that sound a lot better than like, I sell good tools or quality tools? I only sell, you know, the best refurbished TVs. So I think that's a great one you can use all the time in your pawn industry. Let's see. All right, greetings. We all know, all right, does anyone have a greeting they like when people come in? Like that they like to say? Does anyone have a greeting at their shop that they think is welcoming or good or hi? I don't know.
Because I say, hey y'all, welcome to Old World and Old World Accessories. And it's kind of corny, but Hank of the Hill, and it's just funny. And
There you go. Yep. I didn't get it until you told me the Hank of the Hill, and then I'm like, oh yeah, the propane accessories. That was pretty good. So, I mean, hopefully you're not saying, can I help you? Because we all know that is the biggest no-no. I mean, people, even that want help, they've done studies that say people instantly say no because they're so triggered from that like response. You absolutely never say, can I help you? If of all kinds of things. So, all right, well, now I feel even better about my ideas about telling you what you can say, because it doesn't seem like you guys have very good, ones that you're proud to share about when people enter. So welcome to Johnson's Pawn. Thank you for choosing us. Oh, hello, welcome. Thank you for choosing Johnson's Pawn. Reinforcing that they chose you, that they made the decision to go in there is great. It's saying that you're there, that they are your customer, So I love that one. I think thanks for choosing us is good. Hi, welcome to Johnson's Jewelers. Let's play jewelry. Let's go shopping. And people get so nervous. I mean, at least in jewelry stores, I've seen people faint. I've seen people throw up, So anything you can do to relax people and make them feel at ease. A lot of people have never been to a pawn shop. So if you can make them feel comfortable, and so the playfulness is great. I mean, women love shopping. You just say the word, let's go shopping. I mean, women get pretty excited. So that's a great one. And just playful. Shane Decker used to say, everyone that comes into a jewelry store, you're supposed to just give them a carrot, or you should be showing everybody a big diamond ring. It does relax them and make them feel important and play. So if you just say, let's play jewelry, I think that that's a great way to relax people. Your ring is, this one's more jewelry specific, but I think it can be definitely used for pawn. Hi, welcome to Johnson's Jewelry and Pawn. Your ring is here, now let's go find it. Your item is here, now let's go find it. Because it shows them they don't need to go anywhere else. You're gonna do above and beyond. You're gonna find it there. So I love that one. It's positive, and it shows you're gonna, it's great customer service, the best tools are here. Let's look for it together. It shows teamwork, shows working together. I like that one. So, all right. No one else has any greetings? All right, guys. You're gonna have to use. Next year. I'm gonna make sure you use some of those greetings then. So, a jeweler in Huntsville, Alabama. David showed me this one, and I liked it a lot. Wow, he puts on a ring. Wow, that ring looks really great on you. See how your ring sparkles? I love how your ring looks on your finger. So you start to call it your ring, and soon it is. Or whatever look at your new TV. Wow, see, I know you're gonna love that in your house. You just start using the word your, and even when she's admiring it on her finger, that's attachment. I mean, you can feel the attachment forming. The soonest you can get anything on anybody. I mean, every study has shown that if people just hold it, they're much more likely to buy it and connect to ownership. What I think is fascinating is how fast people mentally take ownership of something. Do you know how when it used to be in the bulk food and they're pouring jelly beans and stuff, and then sometimes they go over and then they start taking those out, and you're like, what are you doing? Those are my jelly beans. You haven't even taken possession of the jelly beans, but you're mad that they're taking them out. I mean, that's how fast your brain takes possession of something. So you get it on their hand and you start calling them yours right away, and mentally they will start taking possession. All right, angry customers. Does anyone have anything they like to say, or any tricks for angry customers? I don't know. You sound like you have too many. What? You're like this, something you say to make them feel better, or? Yeah, I don't know. You have the biggest reaction, apologize profusely, or? All right, well, again, good thing you came to this, because you guys need something to say. Cindy?
I heard someone say, and I love this, they looked the person right in the face and they said, I know, crazy, right? And it was it gives the impression that we're on the same, it almost is confusing, it's a pattern interrupt. But I thought it was so interesting because the customer was very mad, and the plumber said, I know, crazy, right?
Yeah. Well, this is very similar in that you do have to remind them that you're on the same team, because they come in and they are combative and they're looking for that argument. The whole drive over, they were thinking about what they're going to say and how they're going to let you to it. So the hey, crazy, right, is very similar to what I was going to recommend. It was hey, I'm on your team. We both want to get this ring right. We both want your TV to work. We both want you to go home with the best power tool that you're gonna use. So remind them that you're their partner and you're fixing it together. Another one, if you screwed up real bad, yeah.
Sometimes the girl is not happy that he brought her to a pawn shop.
Oh,
And so you get that with the arms folded. And if you say, what brought you here? And she goes, he's looking for something at a better price. And I go, smart guy.
yeah. Smart guy. Compliments for sure. Anything. I mean, you tell people, I love your jewelry. This looks good. You made a smart decision. You know, anything to pump them up. Confident people buy. People that are uncomfortable don't. So the more you can build them up, for sure, that's a great way to help the sales. You know, I was saying, this one when I really screw up, can you please forgive me? I mean, it's hard for people, like they want to get really mad and they're fighting and you're like, please forgive me. And like, no, okay. And then you can at least move to the next step. You know, people most of the time they just want that empathy. You're right. I'm sorry. We screwed up. You know, if you start defending yourself, it's a big mess. So, okay. Another sales trick is to repeat what the customer says. So anyway, we like things that are like ourselves. I mean, they have studies showed that if waiters and waitresses repeat the order back to people in the same manner, tone, and volume as the waitress did, sales went up. Tips went up 77%. I mean, more people named Mike live in Michigan, or like M&M's. Like, I mean, it is so wild how much we like things that are like us. So if they're talking fast, try to talk a little faster. If they're slow, slow is the slower. If if you can just kind of match the way they're standing. I mean, there's definitely, all kinds of psychology about like just how you stand and how it makes a difference. But if you kind of mimic them, again, like the guy that said this morning, he said A because he's Canadian. Maybe you don't fake an Italian accent because they got one. But, you just try to, mirror what they say and repeat back to them. Also, so what I understand is that you really value quality. Whatever it is, they'll say it, you're repeating back to them and they feel heard, and you do it in the same mannerism they did, and they really feel good and they feel connected. Okay, analogies. So, let's go look in the microscope in this diamond. It's kind of like looking under the hood of a car. Or, you don't need a certificate for a diamond. That's kind of like getting a paper on a dog. Like, yeah, of course you want a certified breed, but like, does it really make it bark better, or do you love the dog anymore? Those are two analogies. When people don't understand things, you have to relate it to things that they understand. So, that is a great tool, especially if you know what they do for a living. If you can somehow relate anything you're selling to them personally, then you've really done well. Does anybody have an analogy they use in their business at all? Something where you just relate, because there's so much they don't understand about loans or pawn or,
Always compare, because you don't want to get your stones checked on your ring quite often, right? So we always say it's just like getting your oil changed in your car.
Yeah.
6 months, if you go change your oil, bring your ring.
That's perfect. See, it makes more people, I'm already more comfortable. I'm more likely to want to leave my ring with you because I'm like, oh yeah, an oil change, that's something I do all the time. So I'm now more comfortable. So analogies are fantastic. I mean, I think it's funny, like champagne diamonds, martini settings, chocolate, anytime you can compare stuff to food or booze, do it. People really like that. So I think that's brilliant marketing. No one was buying these brown crappy diamonds until they were desert diamonds, I don't know, that's really an analogy like the desert, but anyway, I still like chocolate better than the desert. But if you relate it to something they know, they feel more comfortable. So analogies are really, really great. And all right, telling everyone that you're number one. Okay, so I got this there's a book in this, it was called like The Worst Ship in the Navy, and this was the worst ship in the Navy, and they got a new captain, and anyway, he turned it around in 6 months and became the best ship in the Navy. And how did he do it? Well, one of the things he did is every morning he had all the soldiers line up and be like, hello, welcome to the best ship in the Navy, when they would shake each other's hand, and before night they'd be like, all right, it's time to turn into bed for the best ship in the Navy. And the thing is, before you know it, you become it, because you say it so much, it changes your attitude. actions, it changes your mode, and so you start doing things better. So it helps you. Also, I mean, people believe it. I mean, who wants to be like, hi, welcome to Johnson's Pawn Shop. We're the third best pawn shop in the county. Like, no one wants to go to the third best, and so it changes your mindset, but also, there's something called magic in advertising. And if I told you, like, this diamond ring gets lots of attention and it sparkles, you're like, okay. If I told you that this diamond ring helps you get better parking, your hair will always look nice and you'll smell better, there's a tiny part of you that believes it. Okay, I know it sounds crazy, but this is what people used to come in with that snake oil, and they're like, it makes you tall, it makes us, and people would buy it because you just want to believe. You want to, and so there is this power of just, if you say, we're number one, it's Muhammad Ali, I'm the greatest of all time, and before you knew he was. Arnold Schwarzenegger did the same thing, I will be president of California, he kept saying it, and it happened. And so there is this power of saying that we're number one, and everyone should do it. I mean, and you don't worry if someone else also says it, because I don't know, it's really, again, it's about internalizing it. And you remember like an Elf where he's like, world's greatest cup of coffee, you did it, oh my gosh, And so tell everyone you're number one, soon you'll become number one. And you can even pick your thing, we're number one for bridal, we're number one. You can make it narrow if you don't want to just be, we're number one pawn shop, but I think not enough of you just say it, just say it. It's a simple, easy, effective marketing, statement that everyone should say. All right, sorry, I took a Sudafed, it's driving me out, very thirsty. So very similar to the saying that you're number one is having somebody else sing your praises. So let's say the phone, someone calls on the phone like, hi, is Jim there? Oh, Jim? Yeah, he's been here 30 years. I don't know anyone that knows more about power tools than him. I'd be happy to pass you on. Click. Oh, you want to speak to Beth? Beth is our expert in pearls. She just loves it. We've got a lot of pearl jewelry just because she's obsessed. Let me get her for you. So now you've already instilled confidence before they've already talked to Beth or Jim. So I think that's super easy, everyone can do it, and it instills so much confidence. So have somebody else sing your praises. And can anyone else think of where they might be able to do that besides picking up a phone, where somebody else can, maybe even in an email. Let's say you're gonna do a turnover in your store. Like you're helping somebody and you want to turn over to a different sales associate. Instead of just like, Beth can help you now, you'd be like, oh my gosh, I can't believe, I can't believe you're looking for a diamond. We have somebody here that's been here 40 years. They eat, breathe, and sleep diamonds. Let me get Jim for you. That does so much more than like, let me get Jim for you. I mean, first of all, it makes you sound lazy, but if you can talk up anyone else in your staff and have them to each other. Also, I mean, it makes Jim feel better. It's going to make your, culture better. It's going to make everybody more proud, and then Jim feels better about himself. So there's so much benefit of having people talk up each other, right? Someone's going to do this. These are pretty good ideas, guys. I think someone should do these. Okay. One person does one, then we are successful. Number tricks. I am fascinated by this. I mean, as someone that's like a marketing junkie, I mean, people will spend more money at Steakhouse 87 than Steakhouse 6. The only difference is the name. I mean, not only does 9 outperform, like $39 outperforms $40, obviously, but it outperforms $34 by 27%. I mean, people see 9 and they think it's cheap. If you are not, there should never be a 0 on anything you price. I mean, it either is a 9, or sometimes I've heard number tricks like $371, and then people are like, oh, well, they probably really calculated it, because why else would they have a 1? Or why would they? So sometimes really, specific numbers like that, like if something's $3,442, that also is very good, because it makes people think that you thought out the pricing and there's really a reason for it. But there's so much science between numbers, and you're dealing with money and numbers all day. You should be using some of these. Let's see, people paid more for a box of chocolate when they first just wrote down a high number. Like they just had people write down like 3,000, 1,000, and then they had people write down small numbers 1 and 2, and then they went into a store where they sold chocolate and they asked people what the maximum they'd pay is. So just writing down numbers, it's so interesting. I mean, Costco does this. They have all their expensive shit in the front, because once you see a $1,500 TV, $20 for cheese doesn't feel like so much anymore. So there's a lot of things you can do with numbers that really works. Again, that 30, more people will buy a $150 item that was marked down from $200 than the same item at $100. Wild. Okay, and what you call something does matter. Like this goes back to when I was talking about like the brownies. Like people thought brownies tasted better just because the word, and we all know those things like Chilean sea bass. It used to be called like monkfish or something, but they changed the name and everybody likes it. And there's jewelry stores, and it was like John's Jewelers or whatever. They changed it to John's Diamond Jewelers, and sales of diamonds went up. I mean, and it's Starbucks. They had a small, but they call it a tall. Okay, I mean, it's so smart by just naming something. I mean, IKEA names everything. I mean, I'm more likely to buy Billy Bookshelf because I feel a connection. It has a name. I even heard of things like in your case, if you have a bunch of like pearl jewelry, and if you called it like the Precious Pearl Exotic Collection, the Paris Pearls or something, you're more likely to sell it. Just, you can name it, just any 3 sapphire pieces in your case, put them together and give it some sort of damn name, and you're more likely to sell it, and even maybe for more money. So, I mean, these names, what you call something, makes a huge difference. Let's see if I have any more examples. Yeah, let's see the Starbucks one. And the John's Diamonds. No, I mean, there's a bunch of things, small, tall, that lots of examples of when you just name something, it can make a difference. Let me see. Oh, I remember this one's my favorite. Oh my God, so smart. Sorry, I love good marketing. Carl's Jr. had a $6 burger, okay? It was called the $6 burger. You go up there and it says Carl's Jr. $6 burger. It cost $4. You just made so much value. Everybody thinks they're getting a deal. Oh, I want the $6 burger. Okay, that'll be $4, please. All they did is name it the $6 burger, and I just thought that's brilliant. You feel like you're getting a bigger burger. If they called it the $4 burger and it was $4, you'd be like, okay, but they called it the $6 burger. I know there's something in your store that you can name. You know, there was a jeweler, and he with every engagement ring purchase, you got the $1,000 diamond package. Well, you get the engagement ring package. It was all free shit that you get anyway. Free appraisal. He was always already doing an appraisal. He was doing like a prongs checked for a year. You know, I mean, I think he made a deal with a photographer in town where he gave him a little bit, but they got a referral. There's probably a restaurant thing. But you know, a lot of it was stuff that he was doing anyway. But he called it the $1,000 engagement ring package. And it's so smart. So I bet there's something in your store right now that you're giving away for free, and you could just rebrand it. Like even if you clean jewelry, you know, call it the, you know, Express Jewelry Cleaning Spa. We have, did you know we have a come in and see our jewel spa. I don't know. I mean, there's a bunch of things that you do anyway that you could just name it, brand it, and it'll be more successful and make people happier. Win, 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 win. Easy peasy. Does anyone have anything in their store that they named, a collection of jewelry, or did they change the name of their store? Does anyone have any examples of where they named anything?
We change things from saying that they're a used product to pre-owned, and that helps a lot.
You've read the rest of my speech, huh? No, that one is definitely in there. So, yeah, I mean, no one says used, right? That's a big no-no in pawn and jewelry. I mean, jewelers are smart, you know, smart. We start calling stuff estate. I mean, estate sounds like I just order my butlers around, you know, on my yachts, you know, I'm on my estate jewelry, you know? And so what you call it, I mean, that's way better. Everything previously loved. Oh, somebody else took the hit for you on this, so you don't have to. I mean, there's 100 different ways you can say, but you never say cheap and you never say used. And there's better way, yeah, but previously loved. I mean, again, it changes. How you feel about something is everything. We're in emotion business. Actually, everybody's in the emotion business. We think we make all these practical decisions. Nobody makes practical decisions. Every decision you make is emotional. And especially when jewelry's evolved, it is emotional. And how you make them feel about the product and how they make them feel about your store changes everything. And you do that with the words you use. If you sound better, you sell better. All right. This one is like for negotiations. I like this line. Under what circumstances would you? Okay, for those taking notes, or I'll email it out, or you can message me, blah, blah, blah. So I like this one, under what circumstances would you? Because sometimes you're negotiating, under what circumstances would you be willing to leave this on consignment? Under what circumstances would you pawn this? I feel like it opens doors. I feel like if you're negotiating something, you want to find out where they're coming from, right? Like they wanted, what price, sometimes you might say, what price do you want this for? Or what are you hoping to get? But I think this might be a different, more pleasant way to say that. Under what circumstances would you be willing to leave this? And I mean, heck, this can work with like teenager, my kids. I can be like, under what circumstances would you clean your room? Like, we can work with vendors. Under what circumstances would you be willing to leave me a bunch of jewelry for a trunk show? There can be a bunch of uses for this where I think it really, it opens doors, and it puts you in a position of possibilities. Let's see. Okay. Oh, I found some more analogies. And inclusion is like a beauty mark. All right, we're moving on from that one though. 222. Oh, which means. I like this one. Okay, so this is a word trick. Not so much for your customer to buy, but for you to remember. This ring is platinum, which means it'll hold up better. This power tool is Milwaukee, brand, which means it's construction grade. Which means what happens is we're selling something, and we start listing all the benefits or the features. Oh, this is a 5 carat, it's platinum, it's got this and it's got this, but we're not telling what that means for them. Like, what's the benefit? Like, listing, this is an old sales thing. You can't just say why it's good anymore. You have to say why it's good for me. So you can't, if you just remember this line in your head, I write it down on, I write it on the counter, which means, and you'll always remember to say the benefits. This is, this is previously loved, which means you're getting the best deal possible. Like, you have to tell the implications of everything you list about it. Even if you're talking about a watch and you're saying this is waterproof, which means you don't have to worry about it in the shower. How does it apply? How does it matter to them? And personalization, if you give someone enough reasons to buy something, they will. Everything in sales is convincing me to buy it. And if you keep telling me which means, if you keep giving me enough reasons to buy it, I will. And I don't know, I kind of like this example. The late, great Kate Peterson did this at a conference, and I remember and I liked it. Anyway, let me tell you about this ring, okay? First of all, I love this ring. It's 5 carats, it's GVS, it's platinum, it's $32,000. What makes this worth $32,000 to me? Does anyone know? Any guesses? The first thing I said, I love this ring. Guess what? If I don't like it, I don't care if it's a GVS. I don't care if it's platinum. I don't like it. If I'm a vegetarian and you're trying to sell me a steak, I don't care if it's a great price on a steak. I don't want a steak. I want to know what is in it for me, what I love about it. And so how do you get someone to love something? Well, you tell them how it's great for them. Oh my gosh, I know you bike a lot. Well, it's so big, you won't even need a bike light. You'll be able to see everything. Or, oh, you wanted a ring that's set very low. Well, this is great because, it won't catch on your gloves. I know you're a nurse. You're always taking gloves on and off. This ring is perfect for you because you don't have to worry about it catching on gloves. So again, you're making it perfect for me. You're giving me reasons, and the more reasons you give it, the more personal, the more I fall in love with it. Okay. Any questions or things you thought about that, or jokes, or I don't know, something about the which means? I mean, have you done sales training where they tell you not just to list the features anymore? It's the benefits. What's the benefit of the feature? This TV gets, X amount of channels, which means you can see that sports game you like. Or, I'm not in the pawn industry, so it's harder for me to come up with examples, but I'm sure anything that you're selling, this snow blower is 500 horsepower, which means it'll do your driveway much faster. Again, you can't just say it has 400 horsepower. You have to say, what is that in it? What's in it for me? What does that mean? Okay. This was the audience participation part. Hopefully I'll do better than the other audience, but come on, guys. All right, how about this? I'm gonna give you a line, and maybe you can try to think of something you could say a little better, or at least tell me how this makes you feel, okay? That, I'm sorry, that's the best I can do, or that's the best I can do on this. How do you feel when I say that's the best I can do? I'm gonna start calling on you if you're not volunteering.
Like you're lying.
Like I'm lying. Okay.
You're not telling me the truth.
Yeah.
Like a period.
Like a period. At the end. That's it. Getting my coat. I'm out of here. It's the end. It's closed, right? That's the best I can do feels closed. All right. Does anyone have anything better? I mean, I know you're negotiating all day long. You have 100, you're using these. You're negotiating with people. Does anyone have anything better than that's the best I can do?
I try to tell you, it's price to sell, but what were you thinking? That way, one, it's also a gauge for you if we're both on the same book. So, we're way low, we just got to get you to a little piece. Let them know that, hey, I got a well price, bro.
Yeah, I mean, at least shows open, that's the best we can do. It's funny because, you'd think that's the best I can do should feel good. That's the best, I really tried, but it doesn't. It feels terrible. Go ahead.
I bought this when gold was lower and I didn't change the price.
Ooh, So, all right, how about instead of this is the best I can do, I really pushed for you on this. Okay? Pushed sounds, but when you use the word pushed, it sounds like movement. Okay? It sounds like effort. I really tried for you here. This is me pulling for you. See this price right here? I reached really deep for you. I tried really hard. Because it shows that effort. Best sounds final, but effort that I pushed for you on this sounds like movement. I want to take care of you. This is me pulling for you on this. This is me pushing for you, because it shows motion. It shows that we're moving somewhere and people feel good. It feels good. All right. I can give you a loan on this. Does anyone have a better line or something they use when you say, I'm going to loan you, I'll give you a loan?
Is this a piece of jewelry you enjoy and you want to keep for the rest of your life? Or is it something you'd like to sell today?
No, that's good. The rest of your life thing does, you're right, I don't want to own this forever. I mean, that's good because it shows real drastic, it's showing real drastic. So do you all just say, I can give you a loan? That's favorite.
So how would you word, they come into the booth and you say, what are we trying to do today?
Oh, that's good.
You want to come back, I don't want them to feel like I'm pressuring them to sell their merchandise. However, it's up to you. If you don't want to come back for this, the price difference will be different on a sale or if it's a pawn.
Yeah. I mean, I liked how you said, because you put it in their words. You said, what would you like to do? And you're saying, what do you want? And making it about them. So you definitely always want to make it about them. I'd love to help you out on this today. How can I help? I mean, help sounds, everyone wants a hero. I mean, if your car's broken down, you don't really want a transaction. You want a hero to come and rescue you in the car. And the same with the people coming into your store. They need a hero a lot of times, They're in a bad situation. And you can be that hero and sound like that hero because, again, you're selling emotion and people that come in are emotional. And by being that hero, you're making them feel good, and more people are gonna come do loans. But I want to help you on this. How can I help you? Where can we get you to? So I really like the word help. What can I when you say loan, it feels like a bank. It sounds like, cold coffee and long lines, And you don't want a bank. You don't want a transaction. Again, you want a hero. You want someone to help you out. You want someone to save you on this. So I really like the word, the help. So don't sell the loan, sell the help. There's something they say with Home Depot. They say Home Depot doesn't sell drills. They sell drill holes. You're not selling the engagement ring. You're selling the moment they get on that knee. You're selling what it does. What's the end result on it? And so the loan is not really the loan. You're selling the help, the handout, the help up that they need. And similar to that one, I like the one we can fix this or loan, taken care. A magic word I like to use is take care of. How can we it's kind of similar with help, is how can I take care of you today? Because people don't remember if you fix something, people remember if you took care of them. Okay, so I like that as a magic word too. Again, it's emotional. Words that you can say that sound like movement or emotion are really good. What's the best we can do to take care of you? I'd love to take care of you the best I can. I think that's a really good one. if someone has a flaw or an inclusion or something, or like let's say there's a dent or a scratch, does anyone have anything they might say to turn that around or be positive or, yeah. Yeah, personality, or it's identifying characteristics. That's how you know it's yours. And things. So, how about I like the one. That's the reason you're getting such a great deal on this. So if they say, well, I see that inclusion, or why is this dent? Well, that's why you're getting it at such an amazing price. You know, everything can be turned around to be positive somehow. You know, that's how. This is $1,200. Does anyone have a better way to say, like, let's say an expensive ring that's $1,200 or any, well, so you might not know where I'm going with this one. Where I'm going with this one is cost per wear. Have you done that? Where like, yes, $5,000 might seem like a lot of money now, but what's $100 a year for the ring of their dreams? You know, what's an extra $50? Like if you break it down into pay, like you already break stuff down all the time when you're doing like this is $30 a month or I'll give this a month. And that's a great mental technique. You know, we talked about numbers and stuff before, but if you can break things down into smaller numbers, it always sounds more palatable. You know, oh, that's only $100 a month. You know, what's that? And so that's a great trick you can use to, you know, make people feel different. Again, you don't need to change your inventory. You don't need to lower your prices. You just need to change your wording because what you say matters. And if you say the right things, you can sell more. Sound better, sell better. All right. Well, I know I talk fast. I do have some more words I can do, but I was hoping a little more. I don't know. No one says any questions on anything. It can be Facebook. It can be on. I don't know. Just, I mean, what was it interesting to you? Did you think like the numbers thing? Did you know that $39 outperforms $34? I mean, I think that right there can change your, you know, how much money you make just by changing. I mean, I moved to getting rid of all zeros years ago. Like everything is $14.99. Nothing would ever be $15. Yeah.
There's got to be a better way to tell somebody that what they thought was wonderful was junk.
Yes, that's true. Oh, I have a friend that owns a pawn shop and she's so good at that. She's so good to be like, you know, I think maybe that's a good one to use analogies. Like, do you know you can buy a treadmill for $1,200 and the next day you have to pay someone $50 to pick it up? You know, that once something is pre-loved, no matter how great it is, that's just the market. I mean, think about that, you know, Versace sweater you paid $5,000 for. You were lucky to get 50 or on Poshmark or somewhere else. So again, if you relate it to stuff they know, I think then they start to get, you know, a car, you drive it off the lot, it's worth half. You know, and I'm just telling you what the market is, you know, but again, I'm pushing for you on this. I'm on your team. Let's see how we can get you the most for it here. Your options, you know, reminding me you're on the same team. Maybe I often even tell people, you know, you're welcome to try this on Craigslist. You know, if you sell it to the end user, you can always get the most. I have to sell it to the end user, so I needed a little bit cheaper than that, but please try eBay because then you're not pressuring them, you're helping. You know, and if you can look like you're helping, then you're on the same team and those good reviews are gonna skyrocket and everyone's gonna be happier. So I think maybe, does anyone else have a good way, like let's say someone brings in absolute junk that they think is the Hope Diamond, does anyone have a way they kinda break it to them that it's not that good of stuff?
It's a beautiful piece of jewelry to the right person, but it's not my market.
Well, that's really good too. You're right, I have two like it, I really would buy, but you know, I have something so similar in inventory. You've got great taste. You know, first, yeah, compliment them, whatever it is. Oh, that's beautiful. You know, gosh, I wish that style would come back. That's so awesome. I really loved princess cuts. Oh, just right now, it's not hot right now, but I wish it did. I loved that style. You know, being as positive as you can, which I'm sure you all know that because you're all great salespeople. All right, well, this is an interesting one. It's not really a magic word, but my family recently at our jewelry store had an estate sale, okay? And they used to send all the mailings to, you know, address Mrs. and Mr. Smith, okay? But what they started doing was they would only address the invitations to the man, okay? And you're like, well, and this worked. They got a lot more. Because what happens is, if he gets the thing for an invitation and it sees, oh, no, I'm sorry. Yeah. No. They only addressed it to her. Sorry, I'm seeing the mess up. I know some, they only addressed it to her. So he couldn't, usually if it says both, he'll throw it away because it's an advertisement, okay? But it just has her name on it. So what happens is often the men are getting the mail. My husband loves getting the mail. He hands it to her, okay? When he's handing it to her, it's almost like, go do this, or I approve, or there is some subliminal message when he gives it to her. So I think that's very powerful. Even if she gets it, it does seem like, I guess that's what had happened, why he was so successful. A lot of the men ended up handing it to the women. They were more likely to keep it because he gave it to her. So anyway, these little tricks I think are so interesting. I mean, even we did a mailer once and we put sticky notes on it. And the response is way better, like just a yellow notepad, because people read that. They get so much print or they see something else that everybody reads a sticky note. So if you just even, quick write, like, love to see on the 13th and handwriting on a sticky note, so it's a big thing. So I love marketing. I love sales. If you have any questions about Facebook marketing or other, I'm around. I'd love to help. So that's my speech. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, have you read articles like this before? Have you had sales training where they say you should change the way you talk? Like, this isn't a new concept, or this is, I don't know. Oh, he's done, then I don't feel so bad. Yay, I can stop now.